Is How to Avenge Abuse Part 6. No, I don't usually drive while doing these, but I'm feeling very aggressive today. So I just couldn't wait. Okay, so I want to talk to you about how to avenge abuse. And this one is specifically aggressively attack fear. Because the purpose of abuse is to keep you in a chain of fear where you're always looking behind your back and concerned about who may have their eyes on you. So the purpose of this talk is to establish in you, the hearers, the advice, the truth, the way. And that way is, let God be your bodyguard. Aggressively attack fear. The purpose again of abuse, another purpose, is to slow you down and to keep you from walking forward in a straight line into and toward your God-appointed destiny, the things that he's got you to do. And the enemy, you have to know, is a big loser if you persist straight ahead, despite contrary feelings, attacks, what people say about you, people around you they will throw up, they will kick up negative words against you in the form of gossip or directly to you, usually not directly to you. All of that's intended to slow you down, But if you're aggressive in not being affected by any of that, but in going forward on your path, God's path of peace for you, and entering into your destiny in resting in God, not in the circumstance, not in how you feel, not in what's around you. None of those things matter. None of the things around you in the physical realm or the spiritual realm that affects your physical realm as far as the enemy goes, has anything to do with your success, with your path that God's put you on, where you're going, who you are, you're saving other people, helping other people. None of it has anything to do, except that it's trying to slow you down, stop you, get you to doubt, get you to wonder, get you to look around. So I want to share with you very quickly about Haman in the book of Esther. Because he is a model, he's a type, a picture, an analogy of Satan. Or you could call him the devil, the evil one, the accuser. Okay, he's the accuser. And he always, every generation, attempts to stop God's people, to take us out, to hinder us, stop God's plans through us. Every generation. Haman raises up an ugly head. And every generation, if we respond the way that Esther and Mordecai did, and God's people did, Haman falls. He falls. And guess what? He falls bad. Very, very, very badly. And this is an immovable law in reality. This is more stable and consistent than the law of gravity. Because the law of gravity has been broken by miracle power before. But this will never be broken. No one can break it. And what it is basically is this. If you respond with faith, despite the enemy breathing a fake kind of fire against you, you put up instead the shield of faith, which means you're seeing, you choose to see, to remember, to look at the picture God has in his good news for you, your circumstance, your family, your work, gospel work, your destiny. Then the enemy will not be able to penetrate that. What has God said? What does God say about your destiny? The enemy can't penetrate your faith. Not a chance. It's a shield. And it protects your whole body. Not just your whole body, your whole life. It protects every aspect of your life. So when Esther, Mordecai, and those guys responded with faith in God, who cares about them? God cares about you. He cares about your situation. He cares about you, even your feelings. Your physical feelings, mental feelings. He cares. But he's not going to remove the opposition apart from you. It works through your faith and through your words. So as you believe, you put up that shield of faith, but then as something projects out of your spirit and deals with the enemy in the spiritual realm for you, cuts them to pieces, slices them to tiny little pieces. I mean, even smaller than that. Like just... what's a good word for it? Pulverizes, demolishes. I mean, the enemy gets totally cut through. by your words, by the flow of life that comes out of your words when you stand up despite opposition, because that shows you're of true faith. Your faith's tested, you win, you pass the test, you speak. Kingdoms fall. Haman represented, he had the power of a kingdom behind him, and it fell with him. And guess what? He fell. He fell off his own gallows. And this is what you can enjoy. This expectation is that whenever any pressure is put against you and it feels like a vice grip and you feel squeezed in it, guess what? Start smiling. Start smiling. Because that means that is, and worse, is what's going to happen to your spirit enemy, you see, once you persist in faith, which rests. Faith rests, but faith, in other words, the words of God, and you speak them. You speak them. They come out of you. They're powerful. You are safe. Now, I said aggressively defeat fear. You know how one way to aggressively defeat fear is rest. It's a choice. It means laying down your guard. It's so that you don't constantly look over your back, over your shoulder to protect yourself. Self-protection. You can exchange it for God protection. And what it is you want to, it's not just theory, rely on God. Basically, what you're doing is you're acknowledging and putting yourself in the hand of God, which is where you are. But you want to aggressively attack fear. And what that means is in the area where you have fear, whether it's of a man or a certain type of man, whether it's of a woman or a certain type of woman, whether it's of an image or a place in a city, whether it's of, a subject that comes up and you start to feel fear. What you need to do is take it upon yourself that you, inside of God, with God, wrapped in God, with his love, affection, everything he is for you, and with him, bringing him into the situation, you are going to walk straight through that pit, that situation, that image, that whatever. You're going to walk straight through, trusting him to protect you. And no one can do that for you. Everyone has to do that on our own. Every single one of us. And as we do, God himself, who is a consuming fire, burns up all possibility of opposition against you. And you come through stronger and brighter than you were before. That enemy that came against you was knocked off his little place where he thought he was standing. He was standing, but it was a deception. He has no right to stand. But you can't beat him. You can beat him this way. You don't beat him if you always avoid dealing with the image or the situation or the thought. Instead, take hold of the word, put it in your heart, put it in your mouth, put it in your hands. Through God, real relationship, you have him. So talk to him, get him involved, and walk straight through the opposition. Don't do anything foolish. That doesn't mean you have to be in the room with a certain wrong type of person in a wrong environment. No, but it does mean that you go out of your way to disarm that fear. And guess what? You'll find out it wasn't real, and you'll beat it.